Crisp, anyone? Do you fancy one? That's what we call them in England, crisps. Oh no, perhaps you prefer nuts. Well, there's nuts as well. Two charming little bowls I've recently acquired, but what a clever thing they are, at least. They are, in a minute, they're going to be very, very clever indeed. They're identical bowls, as you can see. But when you turn them sideways, something astonishing happens. Let's have a go. Now look at that. Suddenly one bowl's shrunk and the other one's got bigger. How did that happen? If you think you know which is the bigger bowl, well, you've got to think again, because when I swap them round, one's shrunk and one's grown again. Astonishing. Every time you do it, it suddenly changes size, and very strongly too. I don't suppose the crisps or the nuts get any bigger or smaller, but there we are. So this is a charming little thing you can serve up when you're doing snacks before a meal, because it's an optical illusion and a good talking point. It makes a very nice social conversation piece. And it's such a clever idea because they actually start off looking quite normal, like two bowls, both exactly the same size. However you do them like this, they all, well, they are identical. And certainly when you're washing them up, one will nestle inside the other. But what an extraordinary thing to happen. Very clever ideas. So here's just a few items I've acquired quite recently from my collection, but I'm most pleased to get them because I think they're very strong. This is another one, which is a puzzle. It's actually an assembly thing, one of my friends insists on calling, and they call it a tier puzzle, meaning it's a German for animals. The animals themselves are made of very, very thick cardboard and superbly made. They're going to last a long time. There's an outside edge which forms a sort of border like this, just like you would have in a jigsaw puzzle, but the piece is put together in an astonishing way, exactly and densely, where there's no gaps, no air gaps in between it. And some of the pieces are very big, and others, well, that's the biggest piece I've got, that's the smallest one. Look at the little house martin, it looks like. It won't fit there, fits in there, perhaps no, it's going to fit somewhere anyway. Every one of them fits exactly into its mate. There's a nice bear as well. So I had a most enjoyable 45 minutes of doing this puzzle when I first received it to the post, having seen it at a trade fair, thinking, what a lovely concept that is. And the end result, when you've done it, is this astonishing picture here. They've opened it up at the bottom, but they are all in the right place. But at the top, you see it's absolutely dense. There's no air gap at all the way around. This is the one I found hardest to place, which is the rhinoceros. But he did fit in eventually when I found he had to go upside down at the top. They all fit exactly into each other, and there's a black border which they don't put here on the frontispiece, which finishes the thing off, makes it look like a picture. A very, very enjoyable bit of artwork. Friedrich Karl Weitlich from Germany, who's designed this, I think only in the 1970s, but what a lovely design that is. Something I'm going to enjoy sharing with a lot of friends. The tier puzzle. The third thing I got is a couple of these. This is nice, isn't it? It's two little ducks talking to each other, nuzzle, nuzzle, nuzzling. Well, it is that, but on the other hand, if you put them the other way around and tilt them, now we've got a couple of rabbits nuzzling each other's noses. Well, it's springtime. Perhaps they're thinking about mating or something extraordinary. So then you can have one going that way and following the other one. There we are, there's a duck following a rabbit, chasing after it perhaps, or the rabbit's going to chase after the duck. Whatever you like to do it. So these are very clever optical illusions, and yet they have another purpose. As you can see, it's got little holes in the top, which is unusual. It's got a place and a base for something or other there. Oh yes, you suddenly realise you're looking at a couple of shakers or a condiment set with salt and pepper. So let's have a go. There we are, there's salt. That's good enough. And the other one? Well, it's got to be pepper. Yep, that's pepper. So that's a very nice little addition to the table if you're trying to serve up and delight your guests with a conversation piece. Duck, the famous duck rabbit, which I think was invented about, a psychologist about 1895 designed this originally. And here's a most delightful representation of the duck rabbit effect, but in the form of a couple of shakers, salt and pepper shakers. Beautiful. So a very nice addition to my collection. The last item is an absolute beauty. I found this actually, I think, at the Nuremberg Toy Fair. And nearly overlooked it because I didn't follow it up at the time. I had to pursue it afterwards through some literature. It's a figure. So what does it do? Well, You squeeze the handle and see what happens. A spinning top. Oh, but look at this figure. When he does that, his legs splay out. And that's the answer, how it works. There's a little rubber groove there set into the wood. And when you get the spinning top to fit exactly in that groove, that's now loaded up. And the movement is so simple that even a very small child can simply hold it in their hand and push the trigger. And it's just superb. And there's a figure waiting for the top to return to its legs. What a beauty that is. It's meant for very small kids, but it's much too good for small kids. It's got to be for grown-ups as well, I think. Very nice spinning top.